Good afternoon. My name is John Ferrucci, and some of you may remember me as the celebrity chef from my TV show, The Celebrity Chef Show. Today we're going to be doing a chicken saltimbocca. We're actually going to make 3 variations of this dish. And you're going to start by pounding out your chicken breast, or I prefer to use a chicken tender. Now, I couldn't get to the market today to get fresh sage leaves, but that's an important part of this preparation. What you would do is get a fresh sage leaf, lay it right on the chicken breast. And then you're going to put your sliced prosciutto. I have some beautiful prosciutto here. Okay. And you're just going to tap that into the meat. So again, you put your fresh sage leaf underneath, then the prosciutto over at the top. So I'll do that to these 4 chicken breasts or chicken tenders that I have here. I'll tap it out a little first. You want to go nice and easy. I mean, you want to get it shaped, but you can't tap it too hard. Don't forget, chicken tender, just as the name applies, it's a very tender cut of meat. And again, you're just going to tap that prosciutto into the chicken. Now, prosciutto is an Italian cured ham, and actually many of my relatives still cure their own hams. It's sort of like, if you're from the South, it's sort of like country ham down here. That's very salty too. But this is a dry cure. Again, I want you to remember that you should be using a sage leaf. But as I mentioned, I couldn't get any at the market, so just so long as you know that. And our last piece. All right. Now, by the way, this is going to be our dinner tonight too, so. Let me put I'm using this electric skillet so I don't have to go back and forth to the range. Now what I'm going to do is just lay these out this way. Okay, I'm going to season them up to discard this. We don't need this any longer. Now what I'm going to do is season these with a little salt. Now you don't want to use too much salt because don't forget the prosciutto is a little salty to it, but you do want to give it some salt for flavor. We're going to put a little bit of granulated garlic, just a touch, just for flavor. And I also have some granulated onion. Okay, not too much, just a scatter. And a little white pepper. Now white pepper is the outer hull of the pepper, and it's a little bit stronger. You can use that a little bit sparingly. Got my pan set at about 350. I have in here a combination of olive oil and drawn butter, which they sell in the grocery stores now. Because we used to do this at restaurants. We used to melt our own butter. Clarified butter is nothing more than melted butter, and you let it simmer for an hour or so. It boils out the water and impurities, and then just the golden melted butter itself rises. And that's what this is. It doesn't burn like using whole butter would burn. Let's see what temperature that is. I have an instant read thermometer here, and it's only 270, so it's not quite hot enough yet. You don't want to start frying before 325 anyway. Right. Now you can see the oil spreading out, and it seems to kind of have like a rippled effect, and that's a good indication the oil is ready. So what we're going to do is just give it a little tap with flour. Again, when you're sauteing, and also, if you notice, I'm starting with prosciutto side down, because that's going to crystallize the salt and the caramel and the smokiness of this prosciutto. It's going to bring out the flavor of it. Okay. Now, once you start your meats, whatever it is you're sauteing, you don't want to turn that right away. You want to let those meats cook, whether it's chicken or fish or whatever. You wait until it gets dry and browned around the edge before you turn it. Now also I have actually about a half a shallot, just to give a little bit more flavor to the sauce. And the reason I only use the half is I only have 4 pieces. I only have 4 pieces of meat. It's not that much really, so a half will be fine for flavoring. And they're sauteing up very nicely. Now, with this dish, we're going to also use fresh spinach. So I have some water back here boiling, and it's barely a half a cup of water into this skillet. Put our stove up to high, and you know how spinach cooks down. I have a whole bowl of it, but this is going to be just about 2 portions once we get through cooking it down. We're going to cook about 3/4 of this spinach. So we put the fire back up on high. We'll let that cook while our chicken's cooking here. Now you can see how it's beginning to cook around the edge. You're getting moisture up through the center. That's an indication to turn it. It's a good indication to turn it. Now see how that prosciutto is nice and browned and crystallized. The shallots are becoming clear, which is a good indication they're cooking also. Okay. Smells wonderful right now in the kitchen. Now today we're going to do, like I said, 3 variations. This is a saltimbocca, classic saltimbocca right here, with sage leaf, our prosciutto. We're going to add some marsala wine and some brown sauce. That's a saltimbocca. We're going to bring it up one more step. We're going to put cheese over this before we're ready to serve. And that's called a saltimbocca alla romano. But we're going to bring it up one more too. We're going to serve it on a bed of spinach. And that's called saltimbocca alla romano. I just lost my train. Saltimbocca alla romano. What do you call it with the spinach? It'll come to me. It'll come to me. Oh, Florentine, that's what it is. So when you serve it with spinach, it's going to be called Saltimbocca alla Florentine. Now I have some beautiful Florio fine marsala. And we can flame this too, give it a little bit more excitement. That's about a half a cup. Okay? Now what that's going to do is going to burn out your alcohol in the marsala. We're going to also pick up all those nice brown drippings in the pan. Let that reduce a little bit. We'll check on our spinach, how it's doing. And, okay, we can add a little bit more. We're going to end up cooking all this spinach. We could do it in stages, because it's going to all go melt down. Now, what I'm going to add to this pan is, I have some enhanced stock that I make. Generally, I'll make these little stock cups. Okay, it's a little 4 ounces, about a half a cup. And I'll make this enhanced stock, and then put these in my freezer. So when I'm making a dish, I call it my goodness. So when I'm making a dish, I'll take one of these out, and it'll make my sauce for me. And I'm just working this into that marsala, heating up that little bit of stock. Okay, getting that blended in nice, get smooth. Sometimes when you freeze stocks or sauces, they tend to, what we call grate, so you have to reconstitute it with the heat. Okay, that looks good right there. Now this is a little thick for me, so I'm going to add a little water to that. If I had some stock, I'd add stock to it, but this stock that I've added is pretty strong. So the water's not going to water it down or make it any less flavorful. So what I'm going to do is lower this a little bit. We're going to cover it up. I don't think I need this other one. We're going to cover it up and we're going to let that just simmer nicely. In the meantime, we'll work on our spinach. You can see, okay, that's quite a bit down from when we first started. And I used very little water, about a half a cup of water. The spinach is almost all water, so you don't want to add too much water. So we'll let that cook, let that simmer. And what I have next to finish that with is, I have some nice Havarti cheese. You can use any kind of cheese. You could use mozzarella, you could use a white cheddar. I like this cheese, it's very creamy. Monterey Jack is a nice cheese to use also on this dish. Alright, this is almost where we want it. Almost. I'm going to shut the fire. There'll be enough heat just on the stove itself to finish this off. I don't normally season spinach because it seems to be have a natural salt in itself. Now what I want to do is, that's good right there. What I want to do is drain off most of that liquid. So I'm gonna squeeze it with this thong that I have here, this tongue, and try to squeeze as much liquid. And I do it over a strainer. So if I drop any, it's not going to go in the sink. It'll fall in the strainer. Because when you serve this, you don't want all that liquid in the spinach. It'll just thaw out, loosen up your sauce. Alright, so here's where we are. Okay, all squeezed out. And what I like to flavor that with is just a little bit of olive oil. Just a touch. Imparts a nice flavor. It gives a little sheen to the spinach also. Okay, so we're just going to let this go back onto the stove just to stay warm till our chicken is ready. Now the other nice thing about using chicken tenders is they cook up so quickly. So they're almost ready right now actually. I mean, they're so thin. It's just a matter of letting that sauce reduce. See, it's getting nice, and the Marsala gives it a nice syrupy flavor. No, the smell, the aroma it's wonderful. Going to give a little fresh pepper. Now to finish this sauce, we're going to give a little bit of fresh. We're going to give a little bit of fresh butter, and that gives a little sheen and a little thickness to the sauce. Just maybe 2 tablespoons. And this is beautiful, what they call tub butter. It's an Amish butter. And you usually buy it in a big block piece. I get a 2 or 3 pound piece of this. Put this up a little bit so we can reduce that. Sauce. Oh, that looks wonderful. I think that's all we're going to need of that. Now, we're going to put our cheese on here. You see how quick this dish is? Took a minutes to make. Put cheese on each. Okay, we'll put the cover on. Let that reduce. Now, we're going to get our plate set up. Remember I told you we're making 3 dishes. So we've got the Saltimbocca would be just plain without the cheese. The alla romano is with the cheese. And now we're introducing spinach. So this is called alla romano Florentine. This was a big seller at my restaurant. They used to love this dish. Like I said, I used to make it with veal, which is kind of difficult to find. That looks perfect right there. I'm going to take this off. I'm using this little skillet so that I don't have to go back and forth from the stove. Okay. Oh, that is a beautiful dish. This is one of my favorites. Okay. The cheese and the spinach. Oh, almost lost that piece. In addition, now we're gonna spoon some of this beautiful sauce. Oh, can't wait to sit down and eat. I wish you folks could join me. And there you have it. So here's our dishes for this evening. A chicken saltimbocca alla Romano Florentine. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Celebrity Chef Show. I hope to see you again soon. And I wish everyone a glorious and happy Easter.